Welcome to Roots Matrimajra. We are a digital platform specializing in looking at contemporary issues which related to majority of the population, which is also marginalized and minorities. We have with us today Mr. Anil Sood, President of Chetna, an NGO working in the electoral process area. They have gone to the court and also come out with various reports. Mr. Sood, the Election Commission is in the news for various reasons, sometimes wrong, sometimes right, this election time. You think that Election Commission is under serious scrutiny during this election of 2024?
Sir, first of all, let me be very candid about it. Election Commission has abdicated its responsibility. Its
Right.
credibility is at stake.
Okay.
What Mr. Session had introduced, the stature, what it had attained at that point of time, being an independent body, today it's acting as if it is spineless, it has no soul, and it is also a body which is not breathing.
Okay.
The
Why do
kind
you
of
say that? Why do you say so? Because it's very strong statement coming from somebody who is regularly, intensely watching election process over the years.
see, we have seen elections, I think, as kid from 1967 onwards. The language which was used during campaigning used to be very fine. There was no hate speech, there was no character assassination, there was no religious issue. Rather, we used to wait for hours together to hear that time, for a very short time, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was there. So we used to hear him during war. Then, after Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, there was another change, and then Mrs. Gandhi came. Then during that time also Atalji, we used to hear Atalji, we used to hear Advani ji, wait for hours together.
Yeah.
The issues which were discussed during campaigning were not religious, not caste based, not you know uh, any other peripheral issues. The issues used to be related to the progress of the nation.
Okay.
Now today, whenever some people they appear on television, I simply change the channel because the language which is used.
Yeah.
I always say that election commission should have stepped in to prevent the persons holding constitutional opposition from campaigning.
Yeah.
Because when a person holds constitutional position, he is not head of the party,
Yeah.
he is head of the nation. And when he speaks, he doesn't speak on behalf of party, he speaks for the nation.
Yes.
This is my layman's analysis.
Okay.
Now today, what is happening? What kind of speeches you are hearing? What kind of language which is being used? Had it been Session, let me tell you one thing, he would have stepped in and stopped at the first instance itself.
Yes.
He wouldn't have allowed this
Yeah.
kind of nonsensical speeches by anybody.
Yes.
You
But
can't
then,
just.
but then he made that atmosphere in such a way that nobody dared to do that
Yes.
before the elections itself. Here it is like in the press conference, journalist is asking the chief election commissioner, what about the prime minister and the home minister? If they make any speech, will you take action? And then he meekly says, yes, yes, everybody is equal, kind of thing. So that kind of situation, you mean to say, is the most most ridiculous as far as elections are concerned.
Yes. You see, they are constitution. They are holding constitutional position, independent of government, independent of judiciary. They are supposed to perform their function, which they have miserably failed. See, there was a time when votes were counted manually,
Yes,
and within 3 4 days or maximum weekdays, the results used to be out. Yes, that time physical booth capturing was there. All those problems were there. Then came in EVM. Now today we have three types of booth capturing. One is selling your and my vote in advance in 1 year without our knowledge,
yes,
because
yes,
that PR agencies and all, everybody starts working that how to prejudice your and my mind, how to initiate those programs, and how to create an atmosphere conducive to the party.
yes,
Second is software based booth capturing. Now I fail to understand how can EVM, by sitting idle after campaigning is over, percentage of vote can multiply and increase.
yes. Yeah, that's something serious which even Supreme Court is seized of, and I think they have said that only after the elections they will comment on it.
See, now third is the physical booth capturing, which is again going on.
Okay.
So, having technology at your back end call, who stops you from declaring results? Sorry. Today, everybody says that, oh, we are a big country, population is big. That is all hoax. We were big country in any case at every point of time, larger than anybody else.
Yes,
Right from 60s, we were the largest democracy having maximum population. That time we never had technology.
yes,
Today we have technologies, and we have gone back prior to 1962. In ancient time, maybe 1857. We need more than a month and a half for conducting elections,
yes,
hearing all these barking brigades, looking at all nonsensical posts on the Twitter and Facebook and all social media.
yes,
Why? And again, head of state is a star campaigner everywhere, and the kind of language which is being used, we do hang our heads in shame.
yes, yes.
It is
But
not
then,
acceptable.
but then, sir, that has been the political culture. Is an extension of the prevailing political culture. One can argue, So
Sir,
before election, this kind of language is being used. This kind of issues being used. Naturally, during elections, they will continue to do because they think that will give them political dividends.
then they are not fit for our becoming leaders. They must be
Yes,
thrown out by election process. You
yes,
see, when you and me abuse anybody, he can go
yes,
and file a police complaint and police can register a case. Here is a person, representative of people who have been elected, who should have been much more responsible than what they are today,
yeah,
talking all kind of loose language. And ha- uh, internationally, you don't look at locally. Locally, we may be fine.
yeah,
Some section may be fine, some section may be enjoying, some section may be criticizing. But
yes,
look at from international perspective. What image, what impression,
yeah,
what reputation we are conveying to the world that we are the largest democracy minus common sense.
yes, yes. That has been, I think, mentioned. The latest article in Guardian, London Guardian, mentions that extensively that the
Sir,
election
I
process.
don't read anything. I have stopped reading newspaper for
Yeah,
simple reason. You
yeah,
pick up any newspaper, first 3 pages are trash, Then there are corporate paid news.
Yeah.
Then some news of rape and murder and dacoity and fire.
Yes.
If some meaningful news is there, that may be on 10th or 11th page, somewhere hidden in a corner.
Yeah, and I mentioned the international newspapers, like
Okay.
London
Guardian.
Guardian. They have
Okay.
latest article. They have mentioned all these things of electoral process. As you said, it is getting noticed internationally that we have a flawed electoral process, and there is
See,
nobody to control it.
absolutely. And again, I am sorry to say we had very high hopes from Supreme Court of India also. Now, as an interim mayor, you could have ordered something. Now, in case of West Bengal, the Calcutta High Court has put a gag order on obnoxious ads against TMC, which has been upheld, which has not been interfered by Supreme Court. But what about others? The matters which are before Supreme Court, at least
Yes.
some interim measure should have been taken. Now, 17,000 complaints were against our star campaigner on that Banswara speech.
Okay.
What election commission has done till today?
Yes. But this is also open post elections. Also, court can comment on it. Is it not?
No, but see, you must strike when iron is hot.
Yes.
And very often I have seen in my two matters where action was to be taken against the institutional polluter and government agency for flouting the law.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court says since they have taken care of your complaint, so issue has become academic. Why academic? Now they will say elections are over, issue has become academic. Why academic? So they
Yeah.
need to be, as a civil society, we always look towards our courts for relief. Now,
Yes.
if courts also do not interfere in such matters, it sends a wrong message to the all violators. Now you
Then,
hear mujra, you hear all kind of
yes.
obnoxious words from
Yes.
public platform. It's not
Yes.
acceptable.
I know, and also the one-sided kind of advertisement campaign in the media, which is
Yeah,
also very
shameful.
shameful. Yes,
That's
there's
shameful.
yeah. Even
When we
the fact that
when we
Doordarshan censored some of the leaders' speeches,
yeah,
official, they give the
those
time
are
and it is also censored.
those are nothing but to my mind those speeches or those utterances demonstrate the kind of bringing up of those people, the family background, and the culture in which they have lived. We have not lived in that culture.
Yes,
All of us, we have not lived in that culture. We have not grown in that culture.
yes. You know,
And we
we
are not.
there's no what do you call respect for the opposing views. Essentially,
Yes.
that's the thing. Which means you are less democratic than what you are expected to be.
You have damaged the institution. You have brought down the reputation of high offices which you are holding, for which people had reposed trust on you. Because now you think, if you think that you are losing and frustration, rate of frustration is running large, it doesn't allow you to behave like this.
Yes.
Rather, you
So,
should be more magnanimous. You should be more honest. You should be more polite to the people that, okay, we accept whatever you say.
yes. So that's essence of democracy. But we are in a time when democracy is challenged by all these people and their attitudes and speeches even. So, sir, let's come to this number game which is being played because these numbers come from the exit polls which cannot come out due to electoral process limitations. But those people, players knows the numbers, and both sides are claiming, that we have won this, we have got the majority. So how do you look at this number game being played? Because it's also a kind of psychological warfare which they're doing on the voters.
See, if you look at the history in past elections, Madhya Pradesh definitely was not a fair election. It was writing on the wall, and it is again very clear that yes, something has gone wrong. Something was done to rig those elections. Himachal, Rajasthan, people change government after every 5 years, so no issues. Whatever you made it, they will do. They will change the government after every 5 years. Now, Andhra and Karnataka were the eye openers. Everybody claimed we will win Andhra, we will rout Congress, we will rout others from Karnataka and Telangana. But what happened? See, if they were winning, where is the need for head of the state to leave the office day in and day out and go for campaigning?
Yes.
Who is running the government now? Who is signing the files?
Okay.
How the government is being run?
Yeah.
Is there anybody, sitting, duplicate person sitting there and running the office? Answer is no. That
Yes.
chair and table is empty. That office is empty. As a nation, can we afford that?
That's a $1 million question, which is being asked by many these days. Because when you allow the head of the state to be the prime campaigner, all these things fall into place. There was 4 months of non-governance, in fact.
There is no governance.
Yes.
And bureaucracy is having a field day because there is no cross and check. There is no check and balance. So it brings a real bad name to the country. We will be subject matter of international shame. I don't know what are the impressions the media from 50 countries which is observing these elections will carry back home. Now, somebody asked me one question, sir. How are you tolerating these speeches? I had no answer.
Yes.
What to say? If I say something, I'll be pulling down my own PM.
Yes.
And if I don't say, world knows.
They will have their own conclusions. That's all.
No,
You don't have to
they
say.
know.
Yes.
They know they have already arrived at conclusion.
Yes.
They just want endorsement from somebody in India.
Yes. In fact, there are a few articles which have come out from the foreign media, which is very, very damaging for Indian democracy on the whole, because
Yes.
they have already started identifying issues which makes us all hang our head in shame. That's a different thing. But sir, what about this specific numbers claiming to be
They are not going.
something
I don't think they will have this time that kind of majority what they enjoyed in the past.
okay?
I'm very sure they will not have. It will be very difficult for them to retain power. It will be very difficult.
Okay.
Have you heard Mr. Gadkari of late? Have you seen him or have you heard saying him anything or participating anywhere?
Yes. Not
That's the
plus.
indication.
Yes. Plus, today there is some news in one of the Indian Express or somebody saying that somebody in Bombay alleging that is there a conspiracy to defeat Gadkari in Nagpur? There's a story openly
See,
with this point.
it is not today. It is continuing for the last 3 years. He has been stripped of every ministry except highways.
Yes.
So the problem is that he is a go-getter, no doubt about it. But again, he is not above board.
Yeah.
He is
Everybody has
not
their
above board,
limitation.
and these people are scared of him. That if he is there, then we are gone. But nonetheless, it
Yes.
is very doubtful the kind of claims that are being staked they will reach that level. It is very difficult for them to even have majority the way things are happening, because nobody needs these people. They don't need any enemy.
Yes. Their own.
Whatever they are doing, they are
Yes.
automatically, giving publicity and benefit to the other party.
Yes. So the key lessons of this election? So if you number one or two or three, what are the key takeaways? For a democracy, for a healthy democracy, what are the key takeaways? It's like you already identified the speeches, the kind of speeches. Anything else? If you
See,
give
first
this.
of all, let this election be over. I'll be starting a campaign that head of state should not be allowed to campaign.
Okay.
No person holding constitutional post in the central government should be allowed to campaign, because they are not party workers. Once they are ministers of Union of India, they are different from party.
Yeah.
They
You mean
should
to
not
say
be allowed to campaign.
you mean to say they must resign and do the campaign, or
If
if
they
they are.
want to campaign, resign and then do campaign.
Yes.
You can't draw perks at my cost for running the nation. Instead of running the nation, you are running the party.
Yes.
My
There is
money,
already.
taxpayers' money, is not for running your party.
Yes. Anything else which comes to your mind? The lessons.
Lessons that election commission should not be a spineless body.
Yes.
In Hindi, if you
Yes.
write Kendri Chunav Ayog, very
Yes.
funny word it becomes. Kenchua.
Yes. Sure.
So Kenchua is earthworm,
Yes.
spineless.
Yes.
So we expect this constitutional body with a spine, with an independent mind, with strong will and credentials.
Yeah.
Otherwise, disband it.
I know.
It's better not to have than have a liability.
Okay.
If we are becoming banana republic, then let it be banana republic in all senses.
Okay. One last question. What about the role of the media? You said that you don't read any newspapers in India.
Sir, today majority of the media is owned by private entrepreneurs, those who are funding government.
Okay.
So the independence of media is also gone. Most of the mainstream channels, what do you see?
Yes.
What do you hear throughout the day? 24 by 7 into 365. Of course, these election days are maybe 60. 24 into 7 into 60. We are hearing all the crap.
Yes.
Even they should boycott. That we will not telecast such hate speeches, such useless speeches, we will not telecast. But do they have spine?
Yes.
Unki
No,
language,
yeah.
in their
See,
own
like
language,
yes, like a
they
model
say
code of
Hamla kar
conduct.
diya.
Like a model code of conduct for the government. I think for media also,
Same.
it's needed. It's needed. I think that's the need of the hour. I think.
Yes. Media should also, now we have advertising standards council of India.
Yes.
We should have council for media separate.
Yes.
This media also, the what kind of language these anchors use? उसने उस पे हमला कर दिया. अरे यार, was it a war? Somebody asked me one question the other day about India and Pakistan. I said in Pakistan also, survive and political survival till few years ago was anti-India propaganda. In India also, the survival was anti-Pakistan propaganda.
Yeah.
And once Bangladesh became independent, gradually this all faded out,
Fair enough.
because both the countries they were and they are faced with their own set of problems. Now terrorism is a different ball game. That is not that may be partially political, that may be partially ISI, or that may be armed forces in Pakistan. But by and large, most, if you talk to anybody, they talk a lot of sense.
Yes.
And even Pakistan media, I have received few videos on Sardar Bhagat Singh also. I have received videos from Pakistan media on Sir Ganga Ram.
To conclude, what do you think is the experience of these elections?
This election, number one, head of state should not be allowed to campaign. Persons holding constitutional position should not be allowed to campaign. If they want to campaign, they should resign and then campaign. Number two, election commission should be an independent body instead of hand-picked yes men. Number three, media should be under strict control. They should also, I don't know how far government can do it, or judiciary can do it, or media itself can do it, because they should be also responsible for not telecasting such kind of hate speeches or speeches, derogatory speeches, that we will not telecast. And of course, last but not the least, the governance should be so strong, so strict. Now, imagine 19 lakhs EVMs missing is nobody's botheration. Why? Where are those? This should have been a serious issue. And if 19 lakh EVMs are missing, then the question arises why we have not gone back on ballot paper. Because these cannot disappear out of thin air, these must be in somebody's possession. It's not
Yes.
that Chinook helicopter which has disappeared from Lucknow.
I know. So,
So,
in a way that there is much room for reforms, electoral reforms, uh, in the new session of Parliament. I think that
radical reforms are required, sir. Radical reforms.
yes, yes. Let's hope the new elected members of Parliament will be able to do that. Thank you very much for your time, and wishing all the best for Indian democracy.